Hello. So we looked at how do you log in a user. It's straightforward. We just use this method, sign in with email and password, and you just provide the email and password, and it actually connects with Firebase and tries to see if this user exists there or no, and then comes back with a result. Either the user exists or doesn't exist. Something also to pay attention to is what if you want to know that user, get that user. So basically, if the user is successful, the current user is stored as a global variable in Firebase auth. So when you do mauth dot, you could say current user, get current user. Now this get current user returns a Firebase user for you. If this get current user is null, this means you're not logged in. If it's not null, this means you're logged in. But if you fall here, if it's successful, this means that it shouldn't be null, right? So let's try now, and just for your information. So let's say we do Firebase user, or we could do logd, right? And I'm going to just print the user ID. So I can say mauth.getCurrentUser. I can get, for example, the user ID, or I can get the email or whatever. So basically, let's get the user ID, just to show you what the user ID is. Run again, okay. And the email is a@a.com, test, or no, we indicate it's 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and I clicked on login. Now if I go to the logcat, and it shows me the ID of the user. You see here, this is the ID of the user, which matches the ID here, right? This is the ID of the user also, right? So you get to see you get to see now the details of how to get the current user and so on. You always have the current user. If you're logged in, you can always get the current user by using the Firebase auth, which is mauth.getCurrentUser, and then you can get the user ID, you can get the email of the user, and so on. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Now the sign up is very similar to the login, right? But in the sign up, we need to sign up somebody, right? So basically, we need to specify probably the email of the user and the password, right? So that's something we need to do. So let's go back to the project and let's go back to the layout for the login, right? And we'll create something very similar to this, but it's going to be the register. So this is the register screen. We need this one. We make this one constraint layout. Here we are. And then basically, yeah, it should be a constraint layout. It has an ID. It's pretty interesting. No ID. Here it's a constraint layout. And I need to say, for example, if you look at signing up a user, basically here it is. That's how you sign up a user. mauth, create user with email and password, So I just need the email and password. So what I will do is I'll just copy what we had from the login screen. Okay, so I'll do copy all of these, or maybe I can go to the code, Control A, Control C. I just copied all of them, and then I'll go back to the code here, Control A, Control V. So I added all of them, right? Here it is. I'm just going to make it, this is the register fragment. Okay, here is the register fragment. This is something for Android Studio to know, or who does this belong to. Here is the register, and there is login, right? So basically, I could make this one, maybe we'll delete this and delete this one, right? And I'll add two buttons. One of them is going to be register, and the other one is going to be cancel. Okay. All right, so here we are, and here we are, here we go, and here we go, and we do this a little bit of margin and a little bit of margin, and this one is going to be cancel, and this one is going to be register. All right, so here we are. So I have this one is cancel. All right, and then this one is going to be register. All right. So, and the same story. There is email. There is and so on. The button cancel, button register, and it's going to be very similar to what we did in the login, right? So close this. We don't need it anymore. We close all of this. We don't need it. Go back to the register fragment, and I'm just going to copy a big part of the. I'll copy this one. And here we are. Do this, and then similarly I'm going to copy this stuff, and maybe maybe this one also. Anyhow, here we are, and same story here. We're gonna get the view, return return view. Right, so here is the email, and then we have the two buttons for the register. So basically I'm just going to say view, find view by ID, r.id dot button register, and then set on click listener, new on click listener. So that's this one, and the other one is the cancel. Okay, and that's probably button cancel, and here we go. So basically I have the register, I have the cancel, and I can copy also a lot of code that we have here already, which is this one, right? That's to get the email and to get the password. They have the same, I use the same ID, so it makes my life easier. So here I can get the email, I can get the password. You can ask them to do that. You can also check to see if the password is 6 characters long or no. You can do all these checks, right? Now I need to get the mauth. Same situation, same scenarios. Copy these two, right? So here we are. I need the mauth as a variable. Here's the mauth. So now what I could do is I say mauth equals Firebase auth get instance. Here we are. And then I could do mauth dot sign up. So basically sign or create user with email and password. Perfect. This is the email, this is the password, and then you register. The same story. You add an onComplete listener, get activity, and then new onComplete listener, and here it is. So basically it's very straightforward, right? I didn't type much. I'm just using the autocomplete, and the same scenario. You could get to see if the task is successful, then you're good, else you're not, then there is a problem. So basically we can copy even the same code that we had here, right? It's the same scenario, right? Here we are, and here we go, right? So basically on complete, so basically sign up, we could say or register, and then it gives you the user, and then there is an error and so on, right? So basically you can get to see what's going on, right? So now that is the register stuff. So let's go to the login fragment, and then maybe when the user clicks on cancel, what I will do is I'll just say get activity, or get or we could do fragment manager, right? So get the fragment manager dot begin transaction dot replace or dot id dot content view with a new register fragment, and you could commit. So basically what I'm going to do is that when the user clicks on cancel, it will take us to the register fragment, and then similarly when the user clicks on cancel here, the user will go to the login. Okay. Alright, so let's run this and see. So all what we did is just create user with email and password. So of course there can be problems, because now when you create a new user, what's going to happen is that once you create a new user, the let's just so that we could know where we are, let's set the title. So we could say get set title, get activity dot set title. So this one is going to be register. So that's the register, and then basically I'll do the same thing for the login. I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to say register new user, and then this is login. So let's run it again, and you can see now that we are, here is the login, we are in the login screen. Now when you click on register, it takes us to the register screen, and then when you click on cancel, it takes you to the login screen, and so on. So basically just to see how to go from one screen to the other. Now if you click on register, of course you need to enter an email. Let's try to enter b@b.com, b@b.com, and then I'll just say test or something. Let's see, I'll do test. Okay, register, and if you look at the logcat, it will tell you that I registered successfully, and when I go back here to the app and I refresh, there is a new user that got created. Very straightforward, very simple to use, and so on. Now something else to pay attention to is that once you register, if you register successfully, then you are also logged in. The user who registered is also logged in, because you could see that I am able to print even the user ID. So if you registered, you are also logged in, right? So maybe what we could do in that case is to take you to the main screen, and that main screen is only accessible if you're logged in. You can do that, right? We can also do that. So we'll do that in a little bit, but just to look at how you create a user is very easy. Now, if we want to transition to go to the next, to the main screen, is also very straightforward. I'll just go here, and if everything goes well, right, I want to check to see if this is the main thread or no. So I could do thread dot get current thread, and then I could do for example get ID, right? So I can do that, and I'll print it just to show you if this is the main thread or no. Log D, and this is the thread ID here, right? And let's do the thread ID on the on click, right? So here we are. This is the on click thread ID. Here it is. This is the on click thread ID, just to give you an idea. Okay, and this one is in the on complete thread ID. I'll put it here even if it's not successful. There it is. Okay, and this is the thread ID, just to see if it's safe to transition or no, right? And then the on click, this is the thread ID, right? We run it again. Okay, I'll click on register. Here is the register. Okay, I'll click on c@c.com, and I will try .c.com, test, and register, and let's look at the logcat, and here we are. Alright, I probably have to run this app again. Here it is. Okay, we click on, or we put the thread stuff in the login. Okay, so let's do it in the login. Okay, alright, we put this thread stuff in the login. Let's log in a@a.com 1 2 3 4 5 6, and I'm clicking on the login, and you can see, okay, the thread ID is 2 everywhere, right? So it's 2 here and 2 here. I need to put a space. It doesn't show 2 like this, stuck to the, but you could see that the thread ID is the same, so it's safe to transition. It's not in the child thread, so I'm good. So basically what I could do is, now once you log in, if everything is good, I can take you to the main screen very easily. All what I do is I just replace the current fragment with the main fragment, right? So there is another one, and we called it the main fragment. So I'm going to replace it with the main fragment. That takes care of transitioning. Similarly, the registration, the same exact process, because when you register and if it's successful, this means you are and it's successful. This means that you need to go to the main fragment, right? Okay, because you are logged in already. When you are registered successfully, you're logged in already. So when you run this, here it is. Let me log in. I'll go a@a.com and 1 2 3 4 5 6, and I click on login. And it took me to the next fragment, and it still says the title is login, because we have to change it in the. So if you look at the main fragment, we need to change it so that it shows that it's the main fragment. Okay, so this is the main fragment. I'll just say get activity dot set title main screen or something. Okay, run it again. Okay, I'm gonna log in. Okay, a@a.com. Okay, and then the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6. I click on login, and it takes us to the main screen. All right, perfect. So basically, something to keep in mind. Now I need to be able to log out. Right, so let's go to the main screen again. Here's the main fragment, and let's add a logout button and maybe some text to show who that person is and so on. Right click and change this to a constraint layout. I don't need it to have an ID. Okay, and I have a text view already that is there. I'll delete the text view. We don't need this one. And let's say we have a button that we're going to use to log out, just for the sake of experimenting here. And I'm going to do this, and this one is going to be the logout button. All right, here we are, log out, and the button is log out. Right, so here it is. It's going to be log out. We go back to the code and we just give it a little bit of padding. Say 10 dp, and go back to your design, and here we are. So it's a logout button that's going to enable us to log out. Okay, let's make it a little bigger. Okay, here it is, and we called it the logout button. Perfect. So let's go back to the main fragment, and I'm just going to fire up this logout. All right, so how to log out? Also very easy, very easy. Let's get the button first. So I'll say view.findView by ID r.id.logout. Here's the logout. Dot set on-click listener, new on-click listener. Now to log out. Guess what? I need an mauth. So basically, if you look here, signing in your user, and there is a sign out. There is a logout. Okay, there should be a logout here somewhere. But again, it's just you log out. You know, signing up, signing in, access user information, and if you look here, there will be a place manage users, and it's going to give you ideas. Currently signed in, user profile, user update, verification email, set a user password. There's everything in here. Re-authenticate a user, and you can log out. So password authentication, let's see. Here it is, password authentication. This is how you create a user based on username and password, which we just showed right now. Signing a user, and how to log out. It's straightforward. Sign out. Here it is, sign out user. It's one line. All right, so I can copy this, and you do this. I can do that, and object enter. Basically, this one is a synchronous call. It doesn't go even to Firebase. It deletes the token that is stored for that user, and that's it. This user is not there anymore. So that signs out a user. Now that signs out a user, and now what we need to do is to go back to the login screen, right? So to go back to the login screen, I'll do the same exact thing that I did for the register. I'll do it like this, right? So this what takes you to the login screen. Here it is. And here is the main fragment. Just take me to the login screen, right? So after you log out. So basically it logs out the user and then takes you to the main screen. All right, cool. Or takes you to the login screen. All right, so that's the logout. Now let's run this and try. We will show you why the logout is important. So let's see, a@a.com and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll log in, and it takes me here. I'm here, and I log out. I'm done. Okay, good. So now what I want to do also is that every time I run the app, so let's say I log in, right? So I logged in as a@a.com, TEST, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I logged in, right? Perfect. And I run the app again. It's asking me to log in again. Even though I'm already logged in, I already logged in before, and even on Firebase, if you do Firebase get current user, it's still not null, by the way. So what we could do is in the main activity, we can decide here if the user is logged in or no, right? How do we do that? We get Firebase auth, Firebase auth, right? So basically we can figure it out on create. We can do this. We could say Firebase auth dot get current user, get instance. We can call this here it is, mauth, right? Here's your mauth. Here it is, equals this guy, right? We can do that. And then basically what we could do is we could say that if mauth dot get current user is not equal to null, or is equal to null, this means you need to log in, right? This means you need to log in, right? Else you don't need to log in, right? So basically if you need to log in, take us there, else take us to the main screen, main fragment. You're already logged in. So run this now, see? And it took us to the main screen. Why? Because you are logged in. Now if we log out, run the app again, where is it going to take you? To the login screen, because you did log out. Now if you once you log in, a@a.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I click on login, it takes us to the main screen. Now if I run the app again, it's still taking me to the main screen. Why? Because there is a current user, and that user is not logged out. Once you log out, the current user disappears. Very nice. Very, very simple. We didn't write that much code. We're just using the Firebase library and how to interact with the Firebase cloud. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.